It's hold on. Y'all, if you know me, I have multiple screens, so sorry if I'm not looking directly at you. I know, so I make sure I have everything in. Okay. All right, can you all see this? I never know. Yes, okay, great. Okay, all right. Thank you all for attending our general membership meeting. This is our last annual meeting of the year for 2022, and man, it's been a year. I haven't completely finished collating everything we've done this year, so this is going to be a quick snapshot, high-level view, year in review, and then what's to come, and then immediately after that, we'll go into the candidate town hall for the folks that are planning to run for next year's board. So following this, we are putting together an actual printed annual report that will go into depth on more of the details, but it's been kind of crazy since I got back the last couple of weeks. So but I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that we'll be putting together all of that. And yeah, we've been busy this year, so I look forward to continuing the momentum into next year. Okay, so just to take a look at, here is the agenda for at least this hour. We may or may not finish. I think we'll finish on time, if not a little earlier. And then we'll start the candidate town hall at the top of the next hour. But this will be a rundown of just the overall year that we've had. I know we've got a bunch of new folks who are part of our latest addition to the family, batch 9. So thanks all for attending here. So some of this will be a lot of this will probably be new to you. And then for the folks that have been actively involved and have been going to meetings or being in different committees, some of this will be familiar to you, but it's always good to kind of look back. We're in the last month, so it's kind of crazy when you take a look at like everything you've done, and it's a great reminder of that. So yeah, just for folks that don't know who I am your current PhilPro president. I actually started the year out in California, Carson, with our treasurer, Fred. Still repping Carson always, but I am no longer physically there. Mid-year, I moved to Dallas, Texas. So I am now in the Lone Star State, and I am the senior digital director there, Dallas Morning News. Before we start, I definitely want to thank our BOD, our board members of this year, especially my ecom, our vice president, president-elect JP, our secretary Jean, our treasurer Fred, as well as our board of directors who are from all over the US, who have devoted their time all this year to really hit the ground running and continuing to expand the momentum that was really built upon previous administrations and continuing to move that forward. So really grateful to everyone here who has really helped us take this organization to the next level. So I'm super excited to continue to build on that and keep going and continue to expand what PhilPro has to offer. So thank you, 2022 BOD. I hope to see you all still be involved, whether it's running again or being involved in different ways, leading committees or anything like that. So always welcome to tap in whenever you can. So yeah, so year review, like I said, there's going to be a more in-depth report coming out, but I figured for the purposes of this meeting, I'm also a visual person, so it's kind of good to see like an overview of kind of like some of the big things that we hit this year. So I put together this quick video. It's not perfectionist, it could be better, but like I think this will give you an idea of like all the things that we've done. And I'm sure I'm missing a whole big highlight. So. Like I said, that is not all encompassing, but it gives you kind of an idea of like some of the major initiatives and events that we were able to pull off this year. So be on the lookout for more to come there. So wanted to highlight obviously the return of our signature immersion program. So after 2 years hiatus because of the pandemic, we were able to bring this back. So for folks that are not familiar, please welcome Batch 9 here. And I had the great pleasure of accompanying these 15 great leaders to the Philippines about 3 weeks ago. I guess it's been 3 weeks ago. And it's been just a pleasure just getting to know them and just being able to give the same life-changing experience that I had in 2019 with Batch 8. So was really an honor to be in community with this particular group. So be on the lookout. They may be reaching out to all of you in your respective locations. It's always great to have an already built network wherever you are. Just looking for whoever is the PhilPro member there, alumni. Usually they will make the effort to meet up with all of you. So don't be afraid to reach out and try to meet up. But yeah, so we did it the same week as the last time we did this was in 2019, the week of Thanksgiving. And yeah, it's hard to describe in words just the entire week. So I'm gonna let this video speak for itself. So some of you guys might have seen this already, but I love watching it because I think it really captures just the feeling of that week, especially with this special batch that went. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. This was edited by Batch 9's Michelle Josue. We're so happy to be back. PhilPro is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and it's just building on that momentum and just continuing to help develop the next generation of leaders.
To the guests of Honorable Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, you're recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
We are in the Philippine House of Representatives.
We are about to go to the Sofitel, and we are going to be meeting with the second gentleman. So here we go.
I'm here today to help honor the delegates of the 2022 Filipino Young Leaders Program. The diversity of this group here really reflects the breadth of the Filipino-American experience and that incredibly close bond that we have between our countries and our cultures.
When Truman's wife came here before, and then they saw Luneta Park, we were still a Commonwealth by the Philippines then. They said, we need a place like this in the US.
I know we're a little, I break my shoes. We're not as equipped to deal with this as you guys are. You're strong hands, strong feet, and strong hearts. So thank you so much.
So welcome to JMA Network.
Extended ng 30 years ang umihiram ng discount sa electric bill na dapat ay para lang sa may hirap imbes na extend hanggang 2051 ang lifeline subsidy sa
I love watching it. It's just so much joy. Just you could just feel it from there. So just really, really happy, really happy to be able to restart this program that really started it for all of us. So yes. I'm looking at the chat. Yes, I think Constancio, you could add this to your list of many careers that you already do right now. Okay. And then I am going to hand it off to board member Mark Calaguas to talk about Tayo. Mark, do you want to go?
Yep. Hey everyone. You haven't met. I'm Mark from Batch 5. Finishing up my first term on the board, and also part of the core leadership team for Tayo, which is started off as our rapid response to the pandemic 2 years ago. And this might seem like a lot of content, but I think it really shows how much this project has grown in ways that I couldn't even imagine back then. And also consider this as a plug. If anyone wants to like get involved, but also send other folks our way as fellows, volunteers, and subject matter experts. So really quickly, if you're not familiar, the original iteration of Tayo, it was a help desk located at tayohelp.com, where it has a database of Q&As in English and Filipino to help combat the public health misinformation regarding COVID, and to connect people to services like government assistance, mental health resources, and the like. We were funded by some seed money from the Booz Allen COVID Innovation Fund. And then since then, we've just been kind of raking it in, and our activities have grown. So this first slide here, let's see. Yeah, this was from the Department of Health and Human Services. So after like the vaccines rolled out, they were actually, of course, interested in getting different communities vaccinated, and so they gave us some money to put together some PSA campaigns. And so we onboarded our Tayo fellows who developed TikTok videos, and then also we conducted several in-person vaccination clinics in different parts of the country. You can see $300,000 in grants since 2020, which is kind of amazing. And then as the pandemic has evolved, we're trying to plan for the long term. This was like a rapid response that just kind of revealed all the long-standing inequities, right, that our community was facing. So part of our strategic pivot is to expand beyond the help desk concept to being a data hub. So as I'll mention later, we've started engaging in like primary research with academic institutions to develop more insights about our community, particularly disaggregated data, which is like really crucial for policymakers and advocates and journalists. So we hope that in addition to the help desk, the new version of Tayo will host this data. We'll be able to like visualize it, and we'll be publishing all sorts of reports analyzing that data. Next slide. Okay, so some of the kind of expanded activities that we've done over the past year, and some is the help desk hotline. So we got another round of funding from Booz Allen to kind of achieve our original vision for the help desk, which was not just an online component, but also an actual hotline, so that we can actually reach seniors and other members of the community who aren't that tech savvy. So we operated this pilot for several months. It was open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. With call center agents in the Philippines who could, steer people to some culturally competent answers to their questions. And then we also received some funding to conduct a survey on vaccination attitudes in our community. Of course, this is really crucial because it not only helps contribute to the body research, but it also helped improve the way we rolled out our outreach campaigns, on social media and our various webinars and all that. Next slide. Okay, so this is some of the research that I mentioned earlier. So because our origins were in public health, and thanks to Dr. Isa Pama, who is our medical advisor, and her connections with academic medicine, she was able to secure a whole bunch of grants, and we are responsible for conducting, that research primarily. So one of them is the CARE registry. So this is recruiting participants for surveys to help develop more insights about Alzheimer's and dementia. So for caregivers, how to understand how that disease manifests itself in Filipinos, and then actual patients themselves, so we can find out more about their lived experiences, which can lead, of course, to better care. The other grant there is from NIH and their National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. So this is the Heart Truth grant. So this is a curriculum for community health workers to deliver culturally competent information and education about heart healthy habits, so nutrition, exercise, and all that. And so we have been tasked to recruit focus groups to make sure that the materials are appropriate and accurate for Filipinos and Filipino Americans, and then also to help train community health workers to implement this curriculum. And so that, I think, that's in partnership also with the University of Michigan. Next slide. Throughout our misinformation work, we have joined up with several coalitions in the AAPI community, including the Asian American Disinformation Table, which is chaired by NCAPA, which is the National Council of Asian Pacific Americans, and also the Disinfo Defense League. And they're a network that helps combat misinformation among all communities of color. And so back in August, after several months of research and information sharing, we were pleased to publish our landscape report, which details sort of like what is misinformation, disinformation, and then how does it unfold in various AAPI communities. And then so our section as PhilPro and Tayo are provided a case study about our intervention in our community. So basically, this is sort of the official record of the story of how Tayo was developed. And we got some really great coverage from that. NBC Asian America picked it up, as well as various kind of subject matter experts, academics, and journalists. that are covering the disinformation beat. Next slide. Yeah, and so building off of that, we are also pleased to report that we have presented at multiple conferences, and this is, I think, just highlights the strength of our multidisciplinary team, right? So we've got physicians, public health experts, journalists, lawyers, educators, social workers, creatives, and what they've done is basically reach out to their own professional networks for opportunities to share our work and our research, and basically bringing the rest of the team along with them to present. So for a lot of these conferences that you've seen here, the panels have included, our subject matter experts in that field, but also other team members who would not have had opportunity to present in that room. Like for me, for example, I've been able to present at least 2 journalism conferences. So that was pretty incredible as well. And then for our fellows, so that is like our undergrad and graduate student and recent grad cohorts, which we're have done 3 now. They have also had an opportunity to write and to present at these really kind of distinguished conferences. So early on, they're already getting that experience and those lines on the resume. And I think this is just also shows how PhilPro itself is not just the immersion program anymore. I mean, the delegates that that tend to go on the program, are a little bit further on in their career, like mid career, and so this part here, giving people that early career experience is I think a really promising way to expand our pipeline. So we truly develop leaders early on, and then it also primes them to be very competitive candidates later on for the immersion program when they do age in. So let's move to the next slide. So these are our latest batch of summer fellows from this past summer. And so they attend institutions from all over, East Coast, West Coast, and Midwest. And on the right side, you can see a screenshot of the TikTok PSA, one of the PSAs that they filmed. Yeah, they went viral. No pun intended, but maybe pun intended. Also want to shout out also Lorenzo, as you see there. In addition to helping out with these social media campaigns, he's also a co-author of the Disinfo report. Even as like a college, I think it's like a sophomore, we are providing these really incredible opportunities to these students. Next slide. Okay, yeah, even more fellowship opportunities. So this is through the National Network to Eliminate Disparities in Behavioral Health. So this program onboarded another cohort of fellows to be trained in, somebody's got to remind me, it's like mental health coaching, right? Crystal?
Yeah, they become wellness coaches after they took the training.
Okay, so again, really incredible, especially if you are looking to pursue a career in mental health and public health. Next slide. Okay, yeah, and then this is also really incredible. So we also partnered with Act to Change, which is a national organization dedicated to combating bullying within the AAPI community, and teaching young people to be allies with other communities of color and LGBTQ youth and kind of anti-racist education as well. So this cohort of youth ambassadors are high schoolers. So this is now we're really reaching down into kind of the youngest cohort there and kind of introducing them to mentors who are further along in their careers. So shout out to Michelle Garcia and Christian Flores, and of course, Crystal and TJ for facilitating this program, which consisted of a bunch of like online trainings and workshops, which then, next slide, culminated in a retreat, actually this past weekend in Chicago. So our facilitators flew in from all over the country to kind of provide that capstone experience for this cohort of high schoolers. So they conducted, again, workshops on how to manage stress, how to develop healthy mental health, habits, kind of exploring their identity, and then like how to be an ally in this environment, right, of like racism and bullying. So that was really inspiring as well, to be able to see how bright and passionate these young people are. And I mean, they even have already launched their own local organization here in Chicago to like empower Asian American youth at the high school level. So they're really kind of taking those cues and kind of just pushing it to this limit. So we look forward to continuing this partnership with Active Change, and hopefully we'll onboard some future cohorts as well. And then next slide. So this is really awesome. So because of our involvement in those various policy working groups, we were invited to be part of this program that is headed up by Medan. Medan is it's a nonprofit. They've been around, I think, since the mid 2000s. So even way before the pandemic, and all the stuff with social media, they had been using artificial intelligence and machine learning to better support fact checking for journalists, particularly in like public health information. And so because of that, we are one of like 3 or 4 national AAPI organizations that very similar to PhilPro have done these grassroots interventions in media literacy. So people from the Vietnamese American community, South Asian, Chinese American, and so this Co-Insights program was awarded $5 million from the National Science Foundation. So this grant is going to run for 2 years. And PhilPro, I mean, our cut is $100,000, which is actually, I think, the biggest grant we've ever received. And it's even bigger than the seed money that we got from Booz Allen to launch the help desk. And so our role is to beta test these apps that the Medan team is developing to basically pinpoint and identify narratives, online narratives, particularly ones that are non-English language. And so that we can identify them and kind of quarantine them before, they do some damage. And so we're really excited to get like an inner look at this cutting edge technology. And I think this is also going to connect us, with this scene, we're talking NSF. I'm sure that just opens up the doors for other really big name funders as well. And already we're kind of working under the auspices of Medan to again, get invited and accepted to some really large, tech and human rights conferences. And then we're also kind of in talks to maybe we can direct some of the funding too to help the operational support as we do our pivot to the new platform. So we meet every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we've been doing this pretty much since summer of 2020. And then every 2 weeks, there's also a separate research team meeting that Isa heads up as well. And so if any of this interests you, definitely take this as an open invite to drop in to find out more. And then, of course, in your own professional networks, alumni networks, if you know of any undergrads, grad students, who any of these opportunities might appeal to, definitely send them our way. And I think that is it for Tayo for now. So thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it off to Jean for programming.
Sure. Thanks, Mark, for that details around all the work and initiatives around Tayo. It was greatly appreciated. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jean Gavina. I'm currently the PhilPro Secretary for 2022. I wanted to, up next, really wanted to highlight some of the other programs that we've worked on in 2023. So if we go on to the next slide. So this year we were able to celebrate the 10th year anniversary. This was an opportunity to be in person in Washington, D.C. As an organization and to really be able to honor those who have been part of the PhilPro journey. It was really great to see how we started as an organization and where we are today. Really a wonderful weekend filled with different events. We were able to reunite, connect with other PhilPro family, and really get a chance to meet a lot of few folks face to face who played a role in some way or another with PhilPro. If we can go on to the next slide. Another programming was the USAI mentorship program. This was in partnership with US Asia Institute. This is our programming that occurred 2 years in a row now, where PhilPro alumni and board members had the opportunity to serve as mentors for mentees from the US Asia Institute. Really wanted to highlight, for me, I was able to be a mentor last year, and really one of the top highlights for me during my experience here with PhilPro. We can go to the next slide. In 2023, we had also several different roadshows in different locations in San Francisco, Guam, Honolulu, Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, and Seattle. And this is really events where folks had the opportunity to really meet PhilPro alumni and members and networking with community members and really get some information around some of the work that we've done as an organization. Next slide. Several different workshops we've had during 2023 of various topics around career culture, really tools, tips, best practices for career growth and sharing professional experiences. We've also had different workshops around our heritage and culture, on genealogy, tracing our roots, opportunities to learn the Filipino language, and different panel discussions on various topics. And just a few of the workshops that we shared. Here in Chicago, we did have a partnership conference here in Chicago with ACE Next Gen. It's a partnering organization that supports many of our AAPI American leaders and who are wanting to increase the presence of many of our Asian American leaders. Another event that we've had, or another program, was really in collaboration with FACT, which is Filipino Americans coming together. It's one of the largest student-led Filipino American conferences based in the Midwest. It really highlights and promotes Filipino and Filipino American culture, where they were able to facilitate different workshops, panels, and really have various performances. This was held at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, where PhilPro alum had the opportunity to really kind of facilitate a few sessions. Our past president, Luella Cabalona, was able to facilitate a cultural awareness session around Filipino representation in music. And our current president, Lizelle Tanglao, and also our board member, Mark Calaguas, were able to together facilitate a career development and leadership segment, kind of sharing the professional lived experiences. With that, I think I'm going to pass it over to our treasurer, Fred.
Good evening, everybody. So all of our speakers have talked about everything that we've been doing this year, as we ramp back up to the post-pandemic world. And let's just say everything costs something. So hand in hand with that, on top of the fact that obviously we brought back our immersion program this year, that did entail a lot of finances. We have the document in the next slide.
Is it the Excel doc?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me unshare this and share that one.
So yeah, as I was saying, this has been a very, very busy year for us. Actually, the last couple of years, we transitioned very, very seamlessly to the pandemic, and now coming out of the pandemic. Mark mentioned earlier that we've earned, we gained a lot of grants this year. And then, the fact that we were coming back to, or we had our immersion program this year after a 2-year hiatus, a lot of funds came in and went back out. But suffice it to say is that we are in a very, very healthy space, financially speaking. Now, that being said, however, this year is the last year that we're held under the old MOU with regards to the immersion program. So this is actually a good space for us to be in, because next year we're going to be shouldering the cost, literally the cost of having the immersion program. So this first tab right here has the statement of activities. We're going to clean this up a little bit more and have it in the document that will be shared out to everyone. But as you can see there's a breakdown of the grants and donations in the next tab, along with the individual transactions and all of our bank accounts. But suffice it to say is that, again, we are in a healthy space, with regards to our overall finances, but we need this because we're going to be preparing already for next year. And I certainly would like to give a shout out also to certainly with the leadership of our president, Lizelle, but our board of directors through our Give Get program definitely brought in funds as well. But the grants, that's a very significant aspect of what we've brought in this year. So you can see there the total 65,000, and hopefully for next year and moving forward, we are we put even more of an emphasis on the fundraising, because again, while having the grants is amazing in and of itself, a lot of those are earmarked with donor restrictions, so we can't really just rely on the grants to fund our the signature program, which is the immersion program. But that being said, the grants definitely it helps a lot significantly with regards to not just on PhilPro side, but also with Tayo, the amazing work that's been happening. And again, I'm going to jump on the Lizelle fan club. Not that haven't been, but building up on the work that our previous presidents have done. Obviously, Josh, during Josh's term, we had to pivot, and that's when Tayo came about. Luella, her term was basically about maximizing what we were able to do outside of having an immersion program. But I think this year, on top of what's been happening in the past, is being able to merge both worlds seamlessly in terms of being able to fund the immersion trip coming back again after 2 years, but also being able to do all these other things that Mark just outlined. I think that's amazing. And again, the opportunity to not just to welcome non-alumni members to the organization, but also to actually bring in the next crop of alumni. My batch, Lizelle's batch 8. We were the bunso for a very long time. Now we're excited to be able to hand that off to the next generation, the 2022 cohort, and we're definitely excited to see what else is in store next year and moving forward. But again, that's everything. We've done a lot, and all of that did take funding, but we are in a really good space. So we will clean this up and get this out to everybody for if anybody has specific questions on that. But that's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Okay. Go to development. I'm going to hand this to VP and President JP.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, Lizelle.
It's all you.
Oh, yeah. So I'm batch 3, 2014, and I'll talk about the strategic goals. So a little history about PhilPro for those. I know that the new batch knows this very well. We started in 2012. We didn't get incorporated until the end of 2015. And from there, from 2015 until now, or at least 2019, we were trying to kind of figure out our way. And when President Luca Bologna actually took off, became the vice president in 2019, we did a 3-year strategic goal for 2020. She was VP in 2020, right? And then a 3-year strategic goal, where to focus. So that included capacity and infrastructure building, funding and resource development, programs and activities, and external engagement. To make a long story short, we went from kind of maintaining what PhilPro is all about in the immersion into switching that into a more focused strategic visioning plan. And so that we're fulfilling until 2023, which is next year. So now that we open up the membership to everybody and when they have a new batch, we're going to go through the same vision process for the next 3 years. So the focus now is to recruit some members of this strategic visioning plan to see where we are, where we want to go, and actually to see what kind of pivot we need to do moving forward, much as Tayo did as the COVID actually ends. I know, Genevieve, when we were in the Philippines, you said that you want to be part of that. So at least we have one member. And this is not just a committee. It's just the people that be the committee, but we're going to open it up to all the members so that we can get everybody's input. And there are no right or wrong inputs. It's just that we're going to narrow it down to a certain focus areas and how to improve our operation. And one big challenge. We've had the immersion project in November. The Philippine school system switched to mirror that of the United States. They have the 7th and 8th grade. They start in August and in June. So Ayala is getting busy in November months. And a lot of our partners are very busy taking care of the events that happens during the end of the year. So in 2023, as early as 2023, where we're doing the visioning, we have to make a decision whether we will move the program either back to the original month of July or pick an alternative timeline where we can have more speakers come so that it's easier for Ayala to take care of us. And the second portion of that is we're 100% in the hook in funding the program. So these are the kind of things that we need a new focus on to be able to implement it and make the immersion program sustainable, but most importantly, our other activities and also operations. So we need your help. PhilPro is, Lou said that it's in it in July, yes. So those are considerations that we got to talk about. So PhilPro and being selected as an alumni, and hopefully a lot of our members do apply next time. PhilPro is 50% what you've done in the past and recognizing that, but also 50% expecting what changes you can do for the Filipino American community in fulfilling the mission of PhilPro moving forward. We're unique in that we have Ayala and the DFA as our partners, and that is absolutely a strong partnership. We signed a new 3-year agreement, so that new visioning goes hand in hand with that. So that's really what the strategic goals that I'm gonna be leading in 2023 will be about. So hopefully we keep raising the bar for PhilPro. Got to thank all the previous presidents that raised the bar every year. Luella got us organized. And then, of course, Lizelle took us another notch, and she is staying on for another year, which was by design. And I'll be taking over in 2024. And hopefully the president-elect at that point will then continue to raise the bar, because we are definitely a fierce group, not just the alumni, but also the members. So thank you.
Oh, JP, do you want to talk about this really quick? What we're doing? We've invested also training.
Yes, the Note Institute. So we sent Sabrina. So part of the membership, and also being a PhilPro member, that is that we collaborate with a whole lot of organizations, and we get solicited for partnerships. So as an ECOM and board of directors, we weigh each and every one of them to make sure that we take the right process and how it can benefit both organizations. This year, we sent Sabrina to do the Note Institute. So the Note is a nonprofit for social education network founded to empower AAPI. So she's our first delegate there. We look forward to doing this more year in and year out. And as we get new organizations to partner with us, this could also be part of that strategic visioning process. Go back in 2016 when we had no capacity. Back then, the idea of collaborating with other organizations wasn't even there. It wasn't even a first thought. Nowadays, we open it with open arms because we do have a lot of active members.
Yep.
So,
and I should add, we also sent Jessica, another board member.
oh, Jessica, I'm sorry about that. But hey, for real, we've had great, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna probably get a lot of frowning, but we've had great women presidents. And unfortunately, I'm gonna break that trend. So, but hopefully I can do even like raise the bar, because all the precedents that we've had before me have taken us higher. And I cannot say enough about what Lou did, but also, and the new batch knows this, you are being led by one hell of a kick-ass president in Lizelle. And that lady just wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and is like answering our emails. So we're in good hands with PhilPro. So thank you, Lizelle.
Thanks, JP. All right, this is the last section. Jean, do you want to take us home?
Sure.
This one.
Thanks, JP, for that. If we go to the next slide, I'm going to share some updates we've made to the bylaws that was approved by the board this year, September 8th, 2022. Some key highlights: Vice President was renamed to President-elect. The current president and the vice president will serve a 2-year term for 2022 to 2023. Candidates for ECOM must serve at least 1 term as a general board member or officer. We also created a new position. The executive vice president was created, will oversee some of the operational pieces of the organization and serve as board liaison to the various committees that we've established. Board members will now be staggered starting in 2023 to allow for knowledge transfer. Half the board will roll off, half the board will remain to allow for more of a seamless transition and really kind of creating some efficiencies around processes when we're onboarding some of the new and new board members alongside with the old. We've also created a conflict of interest policy. If we can go to the next slide. Okay, and then just sharing some of the new additions. We've kind of created some language and verbiage around dues that are going to be waived. Most recent batch alumni will be impacted. Their next year membership will be applicable for batch 9 for completing the immersion program. Then we'll also have fellows or anyone that has been part of the mentorship program for this year. Their membership will be waived for the following year. If we go on to the next slide. This is just a link that we're sharing for you guys to be able to get more details around the updates and for your reading pleasure and to read at your own will. So next up, we're going to pass it on to Lizelle to close us off.
Just final reminders. There are many ways to get involved. So I hope folks here that are thinking about running do consider it. And if you haven't become a member, it's not too late. It is too late to actually vote in this current cycle, but still be a member. But that is one of the privileges as being a member, and we're constantly trying to build this program out. And then, there's multiple committees that you can get involved in. You could either lead one, you could be part of one. It's really up to what you guys are interested in, and just want to make sure that anything that you are devoting your time with is also in alignment with your schedule as well as our needs. So feel free to reach out if any of these look interesting to you. We can always use the help and really trying to bring new and innovative programs to Philpro. And I think at that will conclude this presentation. I'm going to stop sharing now. We have about 4 minutes before we start the candidate town hall. So I will pause there if there's any questions or if any members of the current board or ECOM want to say anything as we kind of basically close out 2022.
Lisa, I have a quick question. This is Crystal. What's our general membership look like now? Like just numbers, demographics.
The last number poll I looked at was about 140, I believe, total, but I need to look at the actual active membership. So I'll be actually doing that tonight. Kit?
Sorry if I missed it about the bylaw change. Do you need the general membership to vote on that or no need?
Oh,
it was approved by the board, right?
Yeah, we did the special meeting and they
okay.
That got approved in September. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Anything else?
Lizelle, I just wanted to say great job for the entire ECOM stringing this through from the, it was, I was just watching from the sidelines all the hard work that you guys have been doing the entire year. I think I said this at the board meeting. It was a seamless transition back into immersion programming. I love that we doubled down on all the bylaws changes that we started last year. And I think that's the way we should go. We should always keep moving towards like progress in our. It's not set in stone. We should always be changing that to allow for us to operate efficiently. And so I'm glad that we're doing that. And I'm looking at the slides. I'm going, that's still the last slides we used from last year. There's still the same bit.ly links. And that was my intention, is that all of these nitty-gritty things, like, we don't need to worry about it if we build upon what was done before and what was done, and you just add on and add on. And I think you've done a terrific job at like continuing and expanding what we currently have. So kudos to you.
Thank you so much for setting it up. so great. You know, why reinvent the wheel if we've got good templates to continue on? So thank you so much for really honing in on that last year. So really appreciate that.
All for FieldPro and for you guys. I do have one question. I know we've already gotten over 300K grants on the healthcare initiatives that we have for FieldPro through Tayo. Is there, since you have leeway, you have another year ahead of you, do you see in your next term us kind of like channeling the efforts of grants towards our other programs as well as operations for FieldPro? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it was just easy with Tayo because the momentum was already just continuing to keep going. And obviously like having folks like Dr. Palma, who I don't know, she finds these grants everywhere, seems like every week. So that has helped. But I think there are a lot of lessons learned from Tayo where we can apply to the larger organization. So, you know, I think Tayo's in a good spot. So we're going to keep that going, but we're going to try to use the same techniques for the larger FieldPro. So hopefully we can, you know, meet or exceed that amount that we were able to get. So
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so it is 9 o'clock. So Kit, can I hand it over to you, or are you in a position for the town hall?
I'm ready. Wait, let me turn on.
Don't forget to promote the party, the holiday party.
Yeah. Hi everyone, Kit from Maui. So I'm very proud to introduce to you our candidates for this year. We have an exciting slate. It's an uncontested slate so far, but elections is open until tonight. We have 2 more hours. It's Eastern time, midnight. So 2 more hours for folks to still go in that link and submit their names. But for those who are here on the call, we're going to be able to hear from them. But briefly, I'm just going to read the ballot so far. 2-year term expiring 2024. Executive Vice President, we have Mark Calaguas, currently serving on the board, Chicago SMART. Secretary, we have from Hawaii, Chachi Abara. Chachi is a Tayo volunteer and just grown exponentially through the last year. Sab Sayok is running for treasurer. So Sab is also a current board member, all around FieldPro rep and various programs. And then we have 5 currently running for 2-year term, also expiring 2024. New Jersey, Daniel Dan Galeon, batch 9. We have Agnes Lopez, Florida, also batch 9. Brian Ramos, Atlanta. Brian is a current board member, rerunning. And then we have Constancio Paranal, also from Honolulu, Hawaii, batch 9. And Genevieve Jopanda, Hopanda, also batch 9 from San Francisco. We have 4 folks from batch 9 currently running for office this year. All positions are currently uncontested. I'm going to say that again. We have 5 positions open for 1-year term for director. So those of you on the call interested serving on the board, you've heard Lizelle and her team talk about the programs this year. You can jump on the train and help FieldPro reach greater heights, you know, serving on the board. So without further ado, I think I'm just gonna call on whoever's on the call right now and give them 3 minutes on the floor. They should be able to share their screens and be creative in their presentations. I think we'll just start with from top down how I read it. Mark Calaguas, we'll start with you. If Mark is on the call, Mark's on the call.
Yeah, hey everybody. I don't know if I'll take 3 minutes. I think I already talked a whole lot earlier. I have the pleasure of running for Executive Vice President, which is a brand new position this year, in recognition of kind of how our activities have grown, and you know, the econ needs another body to help support our operations. So it's kind of a joke now that I've been on all these different boards at any given time within like the last 9 years. And I think it's just really auspicious right now that maybe this is a culmination of that, because I'll be bringing my experience from all these other places. As Lizelle said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel for a lot of these kind of, not so exciting, but really crucial parts to keep the organization going, right? So, I was on the bylaws committee last year. So definitely in terms of like governance, I've kind of pretty good background in terms of, to make sure that we are in compliance, both internally and then also with any kind of external regulations. I was a founding board member of another national organization, which is NFALA, the National Filipino American Lawyers Association. And I've been involved with that since 2014. And throughout these years, I've occupied a whole bunch of different officer roles, including VP for communications and VP for membership. And I think those two are also like super relevant to the responsibilities of EVP in terms of, getting the word out about our activities, making sure that all our alumni and our members, when they do get recognized, when they are making a difference out there in the world, that everybody knows about it. It's a mutually, beneficial thing. And of course, it kind of just builds awareness. Membership, it has its own challenges being, we're spread out. We are all across the country with, each region and each city has their own dynamics and culture. And so, being on a board that has kind of worked with people from all, geographic and professional kind of backgrounds, I'll be bringing that with me to make sure that, we run our meetings pretty smoothly and everybody gets a chance to get heard and we move forward, really collaboratively. And I can definitely kind of trade on, my personal relationships with all these different organizations for partnerships. So like one example, right? That was on one of the slides was the film screening from back in the summer. So that was in coordination with NFALA and PhilPro. It was basically a short documentary about kind of what happens when Phil-Ams have to sort out like property disputes when, the people in their families die, right? And so it was, an artistic, creative event, Christian Kabuai, the director of that, explained, how the process of making that film was. But then we also brought in actual, family law attorneys to answer people's questions about like, well, what do I need to do, when I'm facing that situation? And I think for a lot of people, maybe in this demographic, that's something that they're going through, or maybe just around the corner. So I plan to continue pursuing those kind of partnerships as well, and kind of bringing new faces and new speakers, new funders to PhilPro. So that's pretty much kind of my background for this candidacy. So I don't know if it's a Q&A thing or I just kind of pass it on to the next person, but thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Mark. Oh, sorry, I'm running an escape room doing this at the same time. All right, thank you, Mark. We're just gonna go down the line. Hawaii, Chachi Abara. I don't think she can make it in the call. It's only like 4 p.m. over here. We're still working, but I believe she sent a video.
I have her video. Yep.
Okay, we
Yes,
have a
let me,
video from
share it.
Chachi.
Hi PhilPro, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to join you guys today. I'm currently at work and I finish at 5 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. I wanted to really introduce myself. My name is Chachi Abara. I used to be the Tayo Fellows in 2019, 2020 or 2020, 2021. I am someone who is very passionate about mental health and mental health advocacy within our Filipino youth and community. I am someone that really wants to be able to tell the story of our community through storytelling and podcasts. I am someone who continues to really break the barriers of a lot of systematic injustices that's been happening within community alone. And for me, what I want to bring to the table is to really allow our youth to have more of their voices heard. One of the questions that we got through email is, in addition to current efforts, how else can FOPRO reach out and invite young leaders to apply for its immersion program? And I feel like it is through really reaching out to a lot of the high school programs, especially within the certain community and state. I feel like for many young leaders, they would really want to look back into their history and really getting to know their family lineage and where their family came from, to really kind of like create this kind of motivation and inspiration to really know more about like what's happening back home, and could kind of increase this desire of like going to immersion program. And in today's climate of political unrest, mental health challenges, and advancements in technology and other factors facing our youth, I believe and I really consense that the biggest undertaking of our Filipino American community right now is on mental health, and really creating conversations that will really allow the community to be open to having these discussions, as well as really providing that safe space that allows our community to be seen and heard. And yeah, that was really short. I really wish that I could join with everyone today, but I wish everyone well, and yes, bye. Hi, FOPRO.
All right. Thank you, Chachi. We're going to hear next from Sab, running for treasurer. Also want to give a shout out to Kuya Fred earlier for his report. Sab, are you on the call?
Hi,
We're just going to
I
go
don't
down the
know.
line.
Can you hear me? I don't know how
Currently
good
on
my
a cruise,
service
right?
is. Yes.
Oh,
Is
your
my sound
connection,
working?
your sound and connection is good. A little pixelated, but you're okay. We can hear you though. Go ahead. Floor is
Oh, well,
yours.
no, thank you everyone for having me and for your consideration here. I hope it is extremely well known how much I love FilPro and how important it is for me to give back to my Philippine and Phil-Am communities, and FilPro being an incredible community of like-minded individuals who want to do the same. Over the past year, it's been an incredible honor to serve on the board and have these opportunities to make exactly that sort of impact through opportunities like planning our 10th anniversary, to attending the Unity Conference and attending the Node Institute training. What I hope to have demonstrated is my commitment to putting in this sort of work and prioritizing FilPro's mission of really empowering this next generation, just how FilPro has been doing for me. In terms of the treasurer role, I'm really excited to be considered for this position. Having seen the back end of the FilPro side of things and having attended this Node Institute and getting these hands-on lessons on sponsorship and funding, as well as having to take some required finance and accounting courses through my master's program, I'm excited to be considered for a role where I can start applying these skill sets and giving back to FilPro in that regard too. I'm currently completing my MBA and my Master's of Science in Business Analytics, where I'm excited to also just bring that data-driven approach into the nonprofit space, which I do in my current day-to-day line of work. I am currently on a cruise ship. My husband and I, we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary and vow renewal, which was our kind of wedding since we had a non-traditional sort of marriage to start. So I'm off cruising. But this is how important PhilPro is to me. I'm going to be here at our meeting even while I'm on my cruise. What I hope to do in the next year is, from a treasurer perspective, bring some of my lessons and best practices on automation and tech stacking to drive organizational efficiency, as well as transparency to the accounting and financial portion of our nonprofit, as well as continue exploring some additional avenues for fundraising and sponsorships. And there was a great question from Lou on, transferring some of that knowledge from Tayo into and grant writing into some other aspects of PhilPro, like our external outreach and additional programming that I'm excited for. And ultimately, what I hope to continue to be is a demonstration of what happens when we invest in our youth and when we believe in our youth. Every single day, PhilPro makes me feel so empowered and so honored to be part of this community, to be part of my heritage and my culture and my family. And I hope to lead by example and inspiring additional next gens to consider positions. I like to sometimes call myself our resident Gen Z, and I don't want to be the only one. So I see Batch 9 coming in. And I'm looking forward to the next round of leaders coming in, and hopefully I get to be one of them. Thank you.
All right, Sab, have fun in your cruise. Share pictures. All right, we're just gonna go down to, that's our slate for Ecom. Again, filing is still open, and within the next 2 hours, we're gonna close at midnight ET. We're gonna go down to our directors now. First, we're gonna call on Dan. Is Dan on the call? I don't think I saw him. Daniel, New Jersey, Batch 9. All right, I don't think Dan's here. I do want to mention though that Dan was the first to submit his candidacy way back late November. So he was the first one to really throw his hat in there. So thank you for that determination, Dan. We're just gonna go down. Agnes. Agnes, I think, is also in the Philippines still. We're gonna see if connection will be able to make it. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the camera off. The connection is really bad. So
all right, your floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, just a little bit about myself. A lot of people do not. I am Batch 9, and I am still in the Philippines, and we'll be back in January. I had an amazing time. Definitely why I'm here is the experience I had. I want to give back, and I'm just so grateful for the program. Again, a little bit about myself, those of you that don't know me, I am a commercial editorial photographer. I have been in business, running my own business for the past 20 years. I have a degree in business. My major was in marketing. I also have a talent agency launched during the pandemic that has grown tremendously within the last year that focuses on diversity and inclusion. I have several talent that have been in national campaigns, and I'm proud to say that I represent several Filipinos. And as far as why I'm here, I just want to help. I want to give back. One of the ways that I feel I could give back is that I believe I am the first and only person in PhilPro from Florida. And I hope to bridge that, to create a bridge and build that membership and involvement with the community here in Florida. There are a lot of Filipinos, particularly in the Jacksonville, Florida area. And I'm been committed, particularly the last 5 years, on sharing our Filipino stories with the community and uplifting our community. Some of the things that I've done, I founded the Jack's Filipino Chefs, which kind of started the Filipino food movement here in Jacksonville, which I'm currently still working on a documentary. I've been filming them for the past 5 years. I also have the Faces to Remember project, which I traveled all over the United States and photographed Filipino World War II veterans. And it is now a traveling exhibition. And I also did a Panay project where I was on Filipina women artists, which I wanted to encourage them to continue in the arts. Me being an artist, I wanted to kind of give them that platform and let people know that, you know, it's important for us to be in the arts and to share our voices with the community. And yeah, that's kind of, I'm here to learn. I am new, and you know, I am, with all the projects that I've done, I'm a doer. I'm someone that you tell me what to do, I will do it. And that's kind of how I am, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, Agnes. All right, thank you so much. We have plenty artistas in PhilPro. All right, we're gonna go move on. Atlanta, Brian Ramos. Is Brian on the call? I don't think he is. Brian is a busy dude. But Brian currently serves on the board. He's an attorney. His profile is on the website. You can look him up there. Brian, if not, we're gonna move on to Constancio. Constancio also messaged me. Hey, he's on the call. He's here. Constancio.
I made it.
Yay, you made it. Okay, great. Awesome.
Sorry, let
You
me
made
just
it.
turn on my video. Hello, everyone.
Go for it.
Oh
The
my
floor
goodness,
is
I'm
yours.
so happy to see everyone. Sorry, I just actually just jumped back in. So what am I supposed to say today?
Yeah, we're just doing 3 minutes per candidate right now. So we're just going down the
Oh,
line.
okay.
Just introduce
Oh,
yourself,
okay.
talk a little bit more about your
Yeah.
plans. I mean, you already submitted a narrative online. So it's something more about yourself, something personal, whatever it is you want to say.
Sure.
Go for it.
Well, aloha and mabuhay, everyone. So my name is Constancio Paranol III, and from Honolulu, Hawaii. And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this discussion, and for the opportunity to be able to share and express my interest to serve the board as a board of director. And happy to answer any questions that you may have concerning my ability and also my capacity to fulfill that role. So for me personally, the desire and the interest to serve was really born out of a promise that I made back in 2020. And I remember during that time, I received an invitation from Crystal to jump on a call with Lizelle and a few other folks. There were a series of conversations. I think TJ was there, Fred was there. I think I also had a conversation with Luella, and really the topic was how to work together as a team to be able to participate and remain engaged in furthering the goals of the organization, and to build and to expand. And in those series of conversations that I've had with these individuals, besides the passion, the commitment, and the drive to serve the organization and the community, what really resonated with me was the love for PhilPro. And I thought it was very refreshing, but it really solidified my my desire to not only be a part of the organization, but to truly commit myself to supporting the organization. Because during that time, I knew that PhilPro immersion program was it was already out of the horizon. And so yeah, so I think those series of conversations really solidified that. And I was really, during that time, I made a promise and a commitment to the team that in any professional capacity that I perform, or role that I perform in the future, I would like to serve as a resource to provide value to the organization in ways that the organization would be able to fulfill and deliver on its goals, its mission, and its vision. And so the excitement of just being a part of Batch 9 PhilPro Immersion program is on another level. The transformative journey and the experience that I've gained in that 1 week with my cohort, and I'm so happy to see a group of my batch of my cohort here, is something that we really owe to the community and to the past leadership, to Lou, Lizelle, and everybody else, who afforded us that opportunity to partake in this community. And so part of the reason why I'm here, and I think I hear it from my cohort members too, is just that opportunity to give back, to serve the organization, and to continue on the legacy that you all have dedicated your time in building, and to support that. So I personally believe that every candidate in this room is more than qualified and ready to take the helm and take PhilPro to that next level. I think 100%, I think I can see that. But for me personally, I just fall on what I know I do, what I can do, and what I do best. And in the spaces where I evolve and I partake, there are still gaps and holes that need to be filled. In areas of technology, entrepreneurship, and possibly government leadership, there are still spaces that need to be filled from a perspective of Filipino American diversity, equity, inclusion, and representation, right? And so I would like to be a liaison or a channel and be instrumental in allowing PhilPro to fill in those gaps, or help fill in those gaps, and continue to uplift, the Filipino American brand identity. And I know that with the support of the community and with the support of the PhilPro Hawaii community specifically, I think it is possible. So really, my desire to serve is to help the current administration, to help Lizelle to continue on with her goals and her plans for the organization, and to see the possibilities for PhilPro itself and the organization, and extend where we are now and provide other pathways by which we can expand PhilPro. We're really good with Tayo and the health, mental, Crystal were also very instrumental in building that mental health, Melissa and everybody else, right? I think there is another opportunity to kind of venture into the tech and the entrepreneur side. And maybe that is one thing that I would hope to contribute and allow PhilPro to be a player in that area. So again, thank you to everyone. I'm just so happy. Like now I'm an alumni, I'm just like, yes.
Yes.
I said, this journey started in 2017. I can't believe that I was actually given a chance to partake, and it's again very transformative. So thank you so much.
That's
Thank you to
awesome.
everyone who made that happen.
I'm personally very relieved. It's so happy Constantia is now with us. Back in 2007, I was the person who had to give him the regrets call that he didn't get accepted. So but anyway, so we're here now.
And it was
Before we end,
yeah, and I'm
go
so
ahead.
happy to finally meet you in person.
I know, over this past weekend. Constantia, before we
Sorry,
end
I'm
your
taking away from the whole.
no worries. Before we end your segment, can you give us a quick closing remark in your TV anchor voice, please?
A what?
A quick closing
In my
remark in your TV anchor voice.
Oh my
Nagbabagang
goodness.
balita. Come on. Do it. Do it.
Sorry, I think I'm having some.
Okay, Constantia owes us something, guys. All right, next time.
No, but also I wanted to thank Josh, because I really wasn't going to apply. When I met Josh at one of the events in Hawaii, he was the one who really pushed me and nudged me to just go ahead and apply. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it. So thank you so much, Josh. I didn't get a chance to thank you, but thank you. Yeah.
And because of you, Constantia, Josh is also throwing his hat in. So he's going to be a candidate this time too. He's going to go last. But up next, let's move on with our list of candidates. Genevieve is our next candidate, and she's on the call.
What's up, representing Phil?
There you go. Go
That's
ahead.
so fine. I'm so excited. good morning from the Philippines. I'm still here. I actually leave tomorrow. And also props to my roommate, Agnes. We spent a lot of time together. I've been trying to be part of PhilPro since its inception in 2012. I've shared this with some of you guys that I've always was like 1 year too old for the age cap. So thank you so much for expanding the age cap to 45 so I can now participate with PhilPro. It was an amazing experience. A lot of discoveries that I wasn't expecting for myself. And, you know, it just goes to show the value and how much we benefited from the immersion program. One of the things that I really believe in, some of the things that Mark, you know, JP, Fred, and Lizelle had talked about was around sustainability and, you know, retention and, you know, how do you keep things going? And I think being able to address and drive, you know, solutions is to ask the hard questions, right? And a lot of you guys have already brought this up. What is PhilPro beyond the immersion program? How do we support and sustain the legacy projects of those of the alumni? How do we continue to engage alumni and current members? You know, as I was thinking about running for the board position for PhilPro, I was reaching out to old past alumni, and a lot of them are not engaged, which is really sad. And that's an answer to a hard question that, you know, we on this call or those that are active that need to answer. And I am I'm willing and committed to help find those answers. You know, when we were in the Philippines together, JP, we talked about, you know, program and sustainability. So just a little bit of background on me. I actually, you know, bring 25 years in operations background. That is my strength in corporate, nonprofit, and government. In the last 10 years, I served as an executive, as a chief of staff in the political space, where I also was the champion and staff jockey to implement the stories of World War II veterans into history books that started in California, now spreading across the country. I also served on, you know, a nonprofit as an executive director for San Francisco Happy Free campaign. It's a public health awareness campaign funded by the CDC. So understanding, navigating around government grants and also around public health spaces, particularly addressing the stigma and how to overcome the barriers in AAPI in the Filipino communities. I currently serve as a president of West Bay Filipino Multi-Service Center, which is one of the oldest nonprofits in Northern California. Similar to, you know, what Tayo did, they had to pivot during the pandemic and provide direct services to the most at risk of the community, that is the seniors, that is the low income families. And we recently launched a nonprofit, a foundation that specifically addresses mental health, wellness, and resilience, and starting at an early age, how do you do early risk mitigation and intervention so that way these children and families that are undergoing a lot of stress as an impact of COVID-19, the pandemic, but also just the economy, how do we help them navigate through, you know, positive mental health? So I also started Kaya, Filipino Americans for Progress, which is born from Filipinos for Obama. It's a national organization that spread across 14 cities. And through there, we partnered with USF, Leo T. McCarthy School of Common Good, where we actually got school credit for the volunteers that worked with us at Kaya. And we did civic engagement and campaign for Rob Bonta towards his election to the first Filipino elected to the California State Legislature. You know, I talked to JP and to Josh about partnering with universities for PhilPro. I'm part of the National Association of State Treasurers, and we partnered with Pepperdine University. You know, a lot of the speakers that we had in the current immersion program are subject matter experts. I think looking at opportunities to partner with universities here where you can, you know, potentially get certification and get funding through education. So those are the types of things that I'm very interested in. I also run Vistahan, the largest festival outside of the Philippines, that brings 100,000 people to San Francisco in the weekend of in August. And Filipino food movement was also born from the culinary pavilion of Bisan. So I have a lot of kind of tentacles that reach out past the Bay Area, and I have strong relationships with the consul generals, former consul generals and ambassadors to San Francisco because of my involvement in the community. So I definitely want to, use those resources and bring them to PhilPro. But my deepest desire is how do we maintain, sustain the organization so that way other generations can benefit from this. And I'm excited to see that it's become an intergenerational organization. And I'm thankful to my cohorts, the 20s and 30-year-olds that I was able to learn from. That's something that, again, that I was I was able to discover and learn more, from them outside of just a general program. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me. And I look forward to, working together and being thought partners. And I look forward for your support. Thanks.
What an amazing team it's going to be for next year, you guys. Thank you, Jen. Oh my goodness. We have one more name we're going to call out, and that is Josh. Josh was so inspired with all of you. He finally decided just now he's going to run for a position as well. So Josh, go for it.
Okay, well, thank you, Kit, for encouraging me. Your recruitment pitch worked, but no, seriously, I'm just so inspired by this group, and I was very blessed to be able to go on the immersion trip as kind of a helper / chaperone, and attend a couple of the events and meet all of Batch 9. So I just want to be able to lend my services as a former president in 2020. We didn't get to have the immersion trip my year because of COVID hit, so I'm just happy to plug in and help wherever I can. Just came off my race for Secretary of State. I've got a little bit extra time on my hands. Learned a lot about raising money, so hopefully I can apply that to PhilPro as well and continue to help the organization grow. And Genevieve, I have actually ran with your idea. I've been talking to the Dean of Humanities at Ateneo de Manila, and they are in on joining up and partnering with PhilPro, and perhaps providing some type of professional certification for the delegates. So Lizelle, we could follow up on that later, but somebody introduced me to the Dean of Humanities, and we've been in email communication. So again, I'm just happy to help lend my services however I can. So just plug me in and put me to work.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, I think that's it. All right, we're gonna open the floor since we're here. Are there any more folks willing to throw their hat in? We're still in the call. There are 4 more positions open for 1 year BOD. We don't necessarily have to fill the whole slate, but it's available and it's open. If you throw your name now verbally, we'll give you a few minutes on the floor to express some words as well. Anyone? All right, I don't see anyone unmuting themselves.
Hey, Kit, I just want to say, I know there are folks here that do not know me, but you and I have both been here from the very beginning. I am totally amazed with the breadth of experience that this new batch is bringing to the table, and even more amazed at the dedication that they are expressing verbally right now and how they want to change and improve and add on to the progress that has been made in the past years. Gen Ops, for me, that's the world. Operations. So I'm really looking forward to that. I heard Agnes say she's got a talent agency and a photojournalist, so all her creative things will really come into play. Constancio on the entrepreneurial side. So happy. You all are inspiring. For real. Y'all are inspiring.
Iyak na yan.
Uy, hindi naman. No iyak. I just love where we're going.
We haven't seen anybody cry in a while.
Oh, I know, right?
Ako lang yan. I know everyone crying all the time.
Not today, but thank you. I'm just so humbled that hey, I said this also in the board meeting. This organization, as a true nonprofit, was started by alumni. Yes, it was started by Ambassador Quisha. But if it wasn't for the first 3 batches saying we have to continue this, when Ambassador Quisha is no longer in his post, this would not be where it's at. And I'm ever so thankful that every year somebody steps in, a group of people step in to say, let's
Yeah.
continue to do this, let's continue to do this, and let's grow
It's
it.
called tiwala, just faith.
Yeah, faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the future is even brighter, because whereas before I was only worried about the following year, about whether we will still exist the following year, with what has been laid out and with what is coming next with the new board, I really see 2050. I can really see PhilPro 2050. And that's how big I dream for PhilPro.
That's
And I'm
great.
so glad I'm hearing, like us expanding, yeah, and all that. So I'm still here to support. Um, honestly, we're having conversations on the side. I'm still willing to give my money and fundraise, whether that means yeah, it would make sense for me to help in another capacity, meaning take a position in the seat. I haven't decided yet, but my heart is with PhilPro. And
Okay, you
I'll,
have 1 more hour to decide.
I know.
Lou, after that speech, you better run.
But I know PhilPro's in good hands, so there.
Okay, you have 1 more hour. Okay, give me your name. Just give me your name in the next hour. All right, gang. We're gonna open the floor for questions. Does anyone on the call have any questions to any specific candidate or to all the candidates? We're just gonna open the floor in the next I don't know, 5 minutes or so for any comments. Yeah. So just interrupt me if you want to ask anything. Elections will begin tomorrow. I'm gonna create your ballots tonight for all the active members. We're using Election Runner. You're gonna get a code and you'll be able to fill in your ballot in the next 2 days. So over the weekend is elections. And then we'll have Christmas party the following day. I know we're gonna make more announcements of the Christmas party in a little bit. But for now, let me look at the chat. If there are any questions in there. Ooh, there's some campaign going on in here with Kuya Fred. I also want to give kudos to our candidates who ran this year. Josh, Fred, who else ran? Steve, did Alex run? All our PhilPro candidates who ran for
Sergio.
office.
Sergio.
Sergio ran for office.
Tyler.
Tyler and yeah. So ones shouldn't stop you. You have PhilPro backing you in future endeavors as well. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Looks like Fred. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and run it back. I mean,
another year?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I just hearing from everyone, the energy and the, just the passion, I think is infectious. And as I mentioned earlier, I went in 2019 and I've been in the econ for the last 2 years. So serving PhilPro obviously has become almost second nature. But for those that I haven't had the pleasure of officially meeting, my name is Fred Jock Dossel. I'm here in the city of Carson, in the South Bay, Los Angeles area. And I wear a lot of hats, literally and figuratively. I was actually born and raised in the Philippines. I spent my childhood years over there. I migrated with my family in '97 when I was 18. So I spent a little bit of, I spent a lot of time in the province. I was born and raised in Cagayan de Oro City in northern Mindanao. I went to UP Diliman for a couple of years prior to moving here. But over the last 20 plus years, I've really deemed myself to be a steward of the Filipino culture here. And I'm involved in a lot of different things here. I'm the president of the Philippine Independence Day Foundation. I'm one of the founding directors of the Philam Chamber of Commerce. And by profession, I actually run one of the very first full service financial institutions, specifically serving the Filipino and greater community here in Los Angeles, which is Mabuhay Credit Union. But as I mentioned, the last 2 years, I've been serving PhilPro as a treasurer under the terms of both, obviously, Lizelle as well as Lou. It's just seeing the growth, the evolution of the organization, within that short time frame. I love how agile we were, how flexible we were in being able to pivot during the pandemic. And show my wall. I'm not at the office right now, but it's being around like-minded individuals that have the type of passion that I have for our community. It's energizing. I mean, I got young kids, but at the same time too, in terms of seeing how our fellow PhilPro familia, not just during the immersion program, and I've had a serious case of FOMO. Unfortunately, this past year, I was supposed to go to DC as well as the Philippines, but COVID had other plans. But anyways, that's definitely one of the reasons why I feel like I have a lot more to give to the organization, and the work that we've done collectively these past 2 years. I know, there's been talk about some of the older alumni kind of, heading off to do other things. But I think seeing it from the current and the younger batches, if you will, that's what we need to kind of reignite that fire and remind really the rest of the alumni and members about who we are, what we do. I mean, like everybody that spoke tonight shown, we've done a lot as an organization and certainly individually, right? But at the same time, there's a lot more in front of us. And I want to have a chance to continue to have my own small role in the future, not just of the organization, but of the communities that we bridge collectively. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and run for the 1 year term for board. Thank you.
Let's do it. All right. Who snaps for Fred? We're going to include your information on the website, you and Josh. But yeah, we're going to wrap this up. If there are no questions from our folks here on the call, so just interrupt me real quick if you have anything to say. If not, I'm going to turn it back to our president. We're going to wrap up our town hall really quick. But yeah, please go ahead and watch out for your ballot information. Should be receiving it by tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, thank you again for all those who are running. Mabuhay PhilPro. And back to you, Lizelle.
All right, thank you, Kit. I forgot to mention this at the meeting earlier, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledge it here. So the immersion program this year would not have been possible without our volunteer selection committee, as well as our unofficial or official immersion chair, Chris Lepinig. No way this could have happened without him. He really helped, just expand just the entire selection process and just even the programming and really being intentional about it. So I wanted to make sure I shouted him out. I totally forgot to talk, but want to make sure that people knew that. And hopefully he'll be able to join in next year's immersion. He wasn't able to come this year, but hopefully he'll be there next year. And yeah, I want to thank everyone who threw their hat in the ring. Really excited to work with y'all, whether it's on the board or on a committee or any capacity. I think, want to just make sure that, we are here for you in any way possible. And yeah, really, the best gift is just being in community with you all. So thank you for a fantastic year. Really great getting to meet all of you. And hopefully we continue building upon these connections and relationships and collaborations and partnerships as we continue to build upon PhilPro and whatnot. So I'm going to pass it back to Kit because want her to plug our last remaining event, which is the holiday party.
I moved places by our Christmas tree, so it can be a little bit festive. But yes, we're gonna have the PhilPro holiday party on the 17th. It is at noon Hawaii time, 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern. Is that right? And you should have it in your calendars because we're all different time zones. We're gonna do a quick trivia, but I just wanted to show you the prize that you're gonna win if you join us. I bought like about $100 worth of local Hawaii products. I'm just gonna quickly show you. This is iced tea, hibiscus mint iced tea. This is Hawaiian chopsticks, no, bamboo, I guess. We have cookies. These are all locally made products. You can make your own Hawaiian banana bread. It has the whole kit in it. You can just add bananas, eggs, and butter, and you can bake it. We have some salts, hapa salts, macadamia nut caramel. There's some chocolates from Maui Kuyai company. And this is one that I really like. It's a candle. It's a pikake candle. Pikake is sampaguita. So it really smells so good. So just light it up, I don't know, during your dinner or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna do a quick trivia game of current events, just something fun. And then I think last year we had Mark and Joe take home the Hawaiian care package that we put together. So this year we'll see if they can defend their title. But yeah, please invite your friends and family. Or is it just PhilPro or is it open to everyone?
I think it's open to everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
All
but
members.
invite your friends.
Shout
It's
out
gonna
to
be
AJ, who's actually not an alumni nor an officer, but he has been here from the beginning. AJ Mortega is
There you go.
a PhilPro member from Chicago.
all PhilPro, anything PhilPro affiliates and members and friends invited to our Christmas party. So we hope to see you then. All right. Okay.
Okay, one more thing. I think, right, Fred? One last one.
Why not?
Okay, you're on mute.
If you don't mind taking it, Liz.
Oh, you want me to take it? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So
Get ready for your close-up, folks.
okay, because we can never get we don't take a picture, then this doesn't happen. Okay, ready? We'll take two. Okay, ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll take one more. Safety. All right, 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right. If there's nothing else, I think we actually will give you back 8 minutes for at the top of the hour. But thank you so much, everyone. Happy holidays. Thanks for a fantastic year, and looking forward to working with you all in the coming year. So,
all right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.